So I put on my Ruth B sweatshirt because Habesha pride, but um this is the last video I'm gonna make for tonight. But I just wanted to make a video for a second, unpacking some of the lessons I've learned as a black female adult. Just so if there are any other black women who are watching my channel and are kind of like wondering how I was able to um, gain certain coping mechanisms or adults in ways where I've been effective and they've seen so many other people fail. Um, I definitely had to like pick and pull from different aspects of life. But like 80% or 85% of the things that I figured out, I've had to learn on my own through trial and error. Like I actually didn't have any mentors and no one who showed me how to do shit. I just had to, you know, a lot of it was apps like learning how to apartment hunt. There's an app that I use called Apartment List. I don't like editing, guys, so that's why you're like, you might be like, she never like shows us that one. It's purple Apartment List to find an apartment, and I just play with the parameters. And then I spend weeks or days talking to apartment managers, and then I finally go view the apartment. Like that's how I get my apartments. Obviously, like I write a lot about my work. I give talks about my work, like technical talks, and so that's how a lot of people learn about my skills. And I'm making more. I do a lot of writing about my projects, so that's why it's very. And I have a GitHub account that has like all my code, which is public. So it's not easy to figure out what I'm able to do because I put it on display. So it's kind of like a digital footprint and online portfolio. Where you're able to see like, oh my gosh, and this is what she can do. And specifically, I'm working on that sentiment analysis project Centify even more now, because I actually have time and tools to do it. So I'm going to make even more content about that. And how I'm building that from scratch. There is no one else. There is no team. There is no infrastructure. I'm using like public tools to do that. And because there are no blog posts written about it that I'm following, I'm literally doing this from my own intuition. Like right now, there is nothing. And every single time I create a new document, this is my document and something that I'm creating. So it's new. And so it becomes very clear to other people who are trying to figure out what skills does she have. It's like, well, it's this thing that she wrote and it's this project that she built from nothing with no one else, you know? Mm. But I do want to talk a bit about relationships, specifically like relationships with men. I do follow a couple of channels like Chrissie. Um, she's like just this avatar who's on YouTube. Yeah, so that's Chrissie. That's her channel. She unpacks quite a lot. And then the Pink Pill. So I was just watching a video by her. And I just wanted to kind of like share those resources. Those are specific to black women and really dark skinned black women. I know a lot of people probably don't consider me dark skinned, but I consider myself dark skinned. And so I just identify with a lot of the struggles that dark skinned women have. And I always try to make society better for whatever I feel a dark skinned woman would be going through. So like, for instance, one thing that I try to do is like if I ever see an opportunity, like a job, an internship, a technical talk, I send it to women who I know, for instance, it might not have been sent to. And if they do not want to do it, then I will submit myself, but I never submit myself first. Also, a lot of things that I find offensive or that I think I know someone else might find offensive, I say those things out loud publicly on Twitter, and I take the shame and blame for speaking out because I do realize that I do have a bit more privilege because of the color of my skin in relation to people who might be darker than me. Now, those are just very small instances of advocacy, but, you know, I do feel like by being vocal and sharing certain things, even if I don't necessarily feel that way, I know for sure that it's someone else's experience and they might be too shy to talk about it. So I own it as my own, simply because I want and need the society to be better for Black women, but especially for dark-skinned Black women. And I realize that every year and every day that goes by where dark-skinned Black women are not getting the credit and the respect that they deserve, that life becomes harder for me. So that's just a spiel there. But also, so let's go back for a second. So I want to talk a bit about like divestment, because I don't know, for my whole life, like yeah, so I would say, yeah, since I've been pretty young, like in kindergarten, thinking about boyfriends I had back then or guys who I was attracted to or who were attracted to me, it was always a very like multiracial sort of thing. Like I've always been attracted to many guys from all different races, not just Black, but I definitely do think that Black guys are attractive too. The problem is, as I've gotten older, I've realized that whatever sort of parameters and cultural influences have a hold on Black males, it is too competitive of a market for me to enter. Like, I don't like competing for resources, okay? Like, I like to be chased and like admired. And I think whatever's going on in the Black community among Black males makes it so that whatever other option, like to the people who I believe are desirable, they have too many other options, making it so that I am not a number one pick. And therefore, I would rather not be a part of the narrative and not be a part of the story and just take myself out of the running so that those men can have and pursue whomever and whatever it is that they want without regard to me. So I don't want to be someone's second choice. I don't want to be someone's baby mama. I don't want to be someone's second girlfriend or situationship. And like, I found myself in the last year in a situationship with Tyler, and it was just so strange because like he knew what it was, and it's like I knew what it was, and I was just like, this is like uncomfortable for me as a woman, because I don't want to walk around being your situationship. Like we're really out here fucking, and he is like very comfortable going around telling everybody else that we're fucking, and it's kind of like, all right, bro, you know, like maybe we should stop fucking, because like I understand we're also going to dinner and like hanging out and like doing quite a lot of shit, but like also we're not in a committed relationship. That's so like what are we doing? Like, why are we doing this? And then there was a lot of conversations that kept coming up that were like, well, if I was this is what he says, if I was in a place like where I wanted a girlfriend, then we could talk about that, but I don't want that right now. And so I was like, that's actually fine. So I think it's time for me to leave then. Like, there's not a space for me here because I'm not like your situationship. So we should probably stop whatever this is. But it was like it wasn't just like, yeah, it was like, no, let's not stop it. I want to keep having sex with you in a situationship. And it was just like, no. The fact that I'm even saying that out loud, that's what that situation was, and that was strange. Then there's another thing where you just have like hooking up, which is what I did with Shan, but like that was kind of stupid too, because he got like super possessive and he just started to believe that like he owned me. Like, we wouldn't talk for 4 months and then he would call and be like, did you miss me? No, nigga, like that's why I blocked you and I didn't call you. No, I did not miss you. There's no missing involved. Like, who do you think you are? Like, you're not that special to me. Like, you're like nobody to me. And he just always had attitudes about shit. Like, last time I saw him, he was like going 100 miles an hour down the Berkeley Hills, almost fell out of the car, telling him to stop. It was just like, okay, this is ridiculous. Then there was Oli, the like homeless dude who lived in a trailer and didn't have a bank account. It was just like, I don't even, nigger logic, man. And all I can say is just like, I got on Coffee Meets Bagel for like 2 weeks. And I don't know, I think I had like 100 matches or something. It was like, well, clearly, however, unattractive I am or how basic I am to whoever, I don't know who the dudes are who are feeling this way or saying that. It's like I legit have a modeling contract and I've had it for like 10 years. So I'm not sure, like, I'm not seeing basic girls get modeling contracts, but to each his own. The standards are clearly like Instagram got everybody's head fucked up. So whatever. I'm not going to argue that. Everybody can feel their way, feel their feelings about my looks and who I am and how attractive I am, and everybody can sit out here and feel their feelings. I'm just not here for it at this point. I don't really give a shit. None of them are paying for me to wear the clothes, so it really doesn't matter. The point is though that like where was I going with this? Yeah, so some of the not some, there's just one guy, and this is like a black guy on the Coffee Meets Bagel app. He was just going in on me, talking about how average I am and how, my standards are too high and I'm a sneeder, meaning that I just use people for dinner. Now, I am a sneeder, but like still, I don't know, pretty girls have a right to be sneeders. Like why else would you even talk to guys at all? Like what's the point? They don't offer shit. Like they don't, all they want is pussy. Like that's what it is. Like they don't, most of those guys are not they don't understand the value that women bring to the table besides pussy. So like to try to go deeper than that, it's like you just have to realize that they have these peanut brains and the nigger logic is real. And so once you realize that, then you can just be like, oh, okay, like if you want to smash them, you smash them, but then you go home and make sure you like use protection and have condoms and stuff. And like also, I mean, you got to do your own vetting, maybe like look and see if they have any like, visible marks that could indicate STIs, or if they have like bad hygiene or bad breath or something. Or even at this point, I might vet like their home situation first, like be like, oh, do you live alone? Do you live in a shack or underground? Because that's a thing. Niggas be living dumpster alleys, cars, all type of crazy shit there. It's nuts out here. It's not safe for anybody, okay? And okay. Um whatever. So the yeah, so what I will say though is that on the other side of that, there are actual guys. Like there was an Abbott and Preach interview where a girl basically got on and she was saying like, yeah, I understand there are women out here who are dating American men and they found these American men to be spoiled, and you should just know that there are other men who are not in America who actually value women. I think that's very true. A lot of other men, like European men, like for me, European men are probably like my bread and butter because they see me, they lust after me, and then they just love it. I don't know. They go above and beyond. They're better for me. For me. Can't really speak for everybody else. For me, that has been the case. I think African men, some of them seem to like want relationships of some sort. I do feel like sometimes I'm kind of sketch because colorism is like super big in the African community. And I don't like when people are coming at or for me simply because like the color of my skin or how I look alone. Because I feel like with that, they have a history of treating dark-skinned black women in a particular way. And it makes me feel hate toward the men who treat the women that way. Because I feel like in my past relationships, I'm just not the passive type of girl who's going to take bad treatment and be like, it's all good. Like if you treat me as some sort of way, like you're gonna hear about it and you're gonna know and you're gonna pay. Ask about me. So yeah, that's, I don't know, for now I guess that's all I have. I mean, there could also be whole courses on reciprocal sex, vibrators, and actually having an orgasm as a woman. But I will save that like if someone is interested in actually unpacking that and having a better sex life, holler at me. I could give you links to toys. But yeah, like for the most part, these dudes are losers, and like you should basically just, if you're trying to get to know someone, make them take you to dinner. If they're too poor to do it, they're too poor to date you. That's just a fact. And I really don't know. You should probably do that thing where you wait the 3 months before you have like sex with someone, because they don't like, it just makes more sense that way, given that men are just thirsty, and they're just thirsty for sex, and they'll do whatever for it. They're gonna like lie and cheat and steal and do all the awful things for the sex, and you wish that they wouldn't, but the fact is that they will, and you have to like live in the society too. So